Great to have you. So what does this Nigeria Data Protection Act, what does it require, from companies collecting, Nigerians' data?
Okay, I didn't hear you clearly, but I suppose you're asking about
yes,
Temu,
the whole news around
Nigeria.
Temu and, the investigation, right now. So, for a company operating from outside Nigeria, what do you need to do, to stay compliant, with these laws?
Okay, first of all, it is important to know that compliance for a foreign digital platform isn't about where the company is from. Rather, it is about where its users are. For a company like Temu that is operating in Nigeria, compliance means respecting Nigerian law, Nigerian consumers, and even the institutions created by Nigeria, regardless of where its headquarters is. Temu, of course, as you said, is undergoing an investigation, a formal investigation by NDPC, which is the body responsible for protection, the institution responsible for protection of data, of personal data. Now, to understand this, I'm going to break it down into three pillars, and that is consumers protection, the local regulatory and tax obligation, and also the data protection and privacy. Consumers protection has to do with protecting consumers. We have situations where Temu has advertised some very unrealistic prices, unrealistic prices that they sell their things, and also and when people purchase, it tends to be what they call what I got. I mean, what I ordered versus what I got. And you also see a situation, an unfortunate situation of consumers having difficulty to access refund. That is quite unfortunate. Also, on the local regulatory and tax obligation part, as a company that is doing business in Nigeria, of course, they should be liable to some level of compliance. They should obey the laws of the country where they are doing business, and they should be able to pay tax, whether they are, physically present in Nigeria or not. And straight down to the main business, which is on data protection and privacy. These borders on them, I mean, the company processing information of Nigerian citizens, of Nigerians. And the preliminary investigation of NDPC has shown that Temu is processing over 2 million Nigerian personal data, and they have about 70,000 active users, and there is no level of compliance. And NDPC has pointed out that they are lacking in their transparency, processing transparency. They don't comply with data minimization principle, and also even the accountability principle, and most importantly, border transfer.
Okay.
And these are very sensitive and very key standards that are provided for by the NDPA, which is the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023, which every company operating in Nigeria must comply. I mean, processing personal data of Nigerians must comply with.
Okay. All right.
And that is very important.
All right, so, definitely 70 million users, that's daily active users. Globally, then for Nigeria, it's about 12.7 million users. So quite a huge number there. So now that we have this information coming from our regulator at this point, what do you think is the next step, for e-commerce giant like Temu and others that are operating here?
Well, NDPC has reached out, has launched a preliminary investigation, and I suppose must have served them the required notices, and it is now for Temu to reach out to NDPC and ensure that the provisions of the law are met with, where they have to provide a privacy policy. Of course, they should provide a privacy policy, where they also have to make NDPC, or even prove to NDPC that they have a system which is strong enough to safeguard the personal data of Nigerians or even Nigerian citizens. And then it is very key to understand as regards cross-border data transfer. If they must transfer our personal data, that is the personal data of Nigerians from Nigeria to any other place, that there must be standard regulatory compliance. Even the country where they are transferring it to should have an active data protection law which affords the Nigerian citizens the extent of protection as if the data was being processed in Nigeria. Okay. So they should meet up with NDPC and ensure that they comply with the provisions of the law. And where they have breached any data subject is individuals who they process their data. Now, when they have breached any of their breached any of their personal right to personal data, okay, they should try to also get them compensated. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for helping us unpack that. This is Emmanuel Okwara, as a legal practitioner and a privacy consultant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Laide, for having me.
Thank you.